instant ramen. You probably have some in your pantry right now, right? That packet. Or maybe a cup. It's comfort food, yeah.
Yeah.
A late night thing, maybe.
Definitely. For millions, it's just a staple.
Exactly. But have you ever, stopped to think about where it actually came from, the journey it took? What if I told you it goes from post-war scarcity all the way to outer space?
It's quite the story.
It really is. So today, we're doing a deep dive into that story. The kind of surprising, often untold history of instant ramen. We'll look at its invention in Japan, how it got, uniquely spicy in Korea, and, even how it ended up leaving the planet.
It's more than just noodles. It's about, ingenuity, resilience.
Totally. And cultural adaptation, big time. I think by the end of this, you'll look at that ramen packet pretty differently.
I think so, too.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Who do we thank for this culinary marvel, and what was going on in the world when it first appeared?
Right. So the person you have to thank is Momofuku Ando. He founded Nissin Foods, and this is happening in Japan right after World War II, a time of really serious food shortages.
Okay.
Now, the U.S. was sending aid, mostly wheat, and the thinking was, okay, let's make bread. But Ando, he saw something different. He realized, people weren't craving bread. They wanted noodles. That was the traditional comfort food.
So he tapped into that cultural need. But how did he go from knowing people wanted noodles to actually making them instant?
Yeah.
What was the breakthrough moment?
Well, it wasn't just one single moment, more like relentless trial and error. He apparently almost gave up.
Really?
Yeah. But the big inspiration, the story goes, came on this freezing cold night in Osaka. He saw these huge lines of people just waiting, shivering for a bowl of hot ramen from a street stall.
Wow.
And that image just stuck with him. He thought there has to be a way to make noodles that are convenient, affordable, tasty, and importantly, you can store them for a long time.
Okay, so that was the mission. How did he crack the code, the tech side?
The actual aha moment for the tech came from watching tempura being fried. His wife was making it.
Tempura. How does that connect?
He noticed when the batter hit the hot oil, the moisture just flashed off, evaporated instantly, leaving these tiny little holes. And he thought, what if? What if you could do that with noodles, fry them quickly, the water evaporates, leaves microscopic pores, and then when you add hot water later, it rehydrates super fast through those same pores. It was this instant flash drying idea.
That is brilliant. Taking something every day like frying tempura and applying it like that. So, okay, he's got the method. What was the very first product like? The original instant ramen?
It was called chicken ramen, launched in 1958. And maybe surprisingly, it wasn't spicy at all. Just a clear, simple chicken broth.
Okay, mild, like a basic chicken noodle soup vibe.
Kinda, yeah. But here's the kicker. It wasn't cheap. It cost 35 yen back then, which today is something like $5.70 US.
Whoa, $5.70 for instant ramen. That's not exactly relief food.
Not at first, no. It was actually a luxury item initially. Reflect how much R&D went into it.
Right.
It took time for it to become the affordable staple we think of now.
That really changes the picture.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about the noodles themselves, that classic wavy shape? Is that just for looks or is there something more to it?
Oh, it's totally practical. Really smart design, actually.
How so?
Well, two main reasons. First, the waves let you compress the noodle block into a smaller space. Better for packing, shipping, storing, all that logistic stuff.
Makes sense.
Second, and this is key for the instant part, the waves give the noodle way more surface area. More surface area means it cooks faster and more evenly when you add the hot water.
Huh. So even the shape is engineered for speed and convenience. Incredible.
Exactly. It shows how much thought went into every single detail.
But Ando didn't just stop with the packet, did he? He kept innovating how we actually eat the ramen.
Not at all. The next huge leap was, of course, cup noodles.
Right. The ultimate convenience. Where did that idea come from?
It apparently came from a trip to Europe. He was trying to demonstrate ramen, but noticed people were struggling. They didn't have the right bowls. They were using forks, trying to eat it out of, regular cups.
Yeah.
It was awkward.
Yeah, I can picture that.
And it reminded him of that old Aesop's fable, The Fox and the Crane, where they can't eat from each other's dishes.
Oh, yeah.
So he thought, why not put it all together? The noodles, the seasoning, and the serving container. Just add hot water. A self-contained meal.
Yeah.
Genius, really.
It really transformed things. But then the ambition went even further. Literally out of this world. Space ramen. Is that real?
Oh, absolutely real. In 2001, Momofuku Ando, at 91 years old, declared he wanted to send ramen to space.
91. Wow. But how, I mean, space food is tricky, right? Zero gravity, water temperature issues.
Exactly. Huge challenges. Food floats away in 0 G, and water up there only heats to about 70 degrees Celsius, not boiling, so traditional ramen wouldn't cook properly.
So what do they do?
Neeson's team developed special solutions. They made thicker noodles using a mix of wheat flour and potato starch so they'd cook faster at that lower temp. And they designed the whole thing noodles, broth bits, so it wouldn't just float away.
That's some serious food science. Did it work?
It did. In 2005, Space Ram, as they called it, went up on the Space Shuttle Discovery. Japanese astronaut Soichi Noguchi ate it in orbit. Ando's dream fulfilled. Food anywhere, anytime, even in space.
That is just an incredible arc. From post-war Japan to low Earth orbit.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, let's bring it back down to Earth for a bit. Specifically, let's talk about Korea. How did instant ramen make its way there?
Well, it got there pretty quickly after Japan. The first Korean instant ramen was Samyang Ramen, launched in 1963, so just 5 years after chicken ramen debuted in Japan.
5 years, that's fast. Was the situation similar, like post-war recovery?
Very similar. Korea was also dealing with food scarcity after the war, so the idea of something cheap and shelf-stable was definitely appealing on paper.
Right, so did it take off immediately? Were people excited about this new food?
Not exactly. It was cheap, only 10 won, but people were confused, genuinely confused.
Confused how?
They literally didn't know what it was. Famous stories tell of people thinking the dried noodle block was like some kind of fabric scrap or maybe even fishing bait.
Fabric. Wow, okay. So slow start then.
What, very slow. Samyang had to do some really aggressive marketing, lots of free tasting events, basically educating the entire country on what this stuff was and how you cook it. It took a couple of years, but by 1965, sales really shot up. It finally clicked.
So persistence and free samples paid off.
Yeah.
Classic. I guess once it caught on, competitors jumped in.
Oh, yeah. There were others like Punyan and Dakpyo, but they didn't last long. The big player that emerged was initially Lotte Ramen, which eventually became Nongshim, a huge name now.
Nongshim, right. How did they manage to stand out and basically define Korean ramen?
Their key move, their genius really, was focusing on beef broth, not chicken like the original Japanese ramen. Beef broth really resonated with Korean palates, reminded them of traditional soups like gomtang. Connecting it to familiar flavors. Smart.
Very smart. And then they had this massive marketing success in 1975, an ad campaign called Hyungnim, which means Brother, You First. It featured these two super popular comedians, Gbong Seo and Gwak Guseok. It was a cultural phenomenon. Everyone knew that ad. It cemented Nongshim in people's minds and actually led to them becoming independent from the Lotte Group in 1978. It was huge for them.
Wow, an ad campaign having that much impact.
Absolutely. And, you know, the other defining thing about Korean ramen, the spiciness.
Yeah, that's what most people think of now, right?
Exactly. That characteristic apparently got a push from a comment by some high-ranking person in Korea back then, suggesting they add chili to make it more appealing, maybe more selling too, during those leaner times. So it wasn't just market forces, but also sort of a national nudge.
Interesting how that specific flavor profile got locked in. Now, what about cup ramen in Korea? Did it follow the Japanese path? You mentioned Samyang tried it early. Right, Samyang tried in 72, but it kind of bombed. It was way too expensive, like 4 times the price of packet ramen. And the packaging was weird rectangular plastic. People weren't into it.
So it wasn't an automatic win like in Japan?
Not at all. But Nongshim learned from that. In 1981, they launched Sabalmyeon, and they nailed it. First, they used a familiar bowl-shaped styrofoam container. That bowl shape was actually a Korean innovation for ramen cups. It felt right to people.
Okay, packaging matters. What about the flavor?
Well, they started mild, but the real hit was the spicy Yugajang flavor they launched in 82. That spicy, savory soup in that familiar bowl. That became the standard. Still popular today.
So the spicy version really cemented the cup noodles' place in Korea. When would you say ramen went from being just, a popular food to a true Korean icon, like embedded in the culture?
I'd say the mid to late 1980s was really the golden age, especially around the 88 Seoul Olympics and the Asian Games.
Why then specifically?
Sabalmyeon, the cup noodle, got a lot of international exposure. It was given out to athletes, media. People from all over the world tried this distinctly Korean convenient food. That global spotlight, plus its huge popularity at home, really solidified its status.
The Olympics bump.
Exactly. Plus, this was the era when so many classic Korean ramens we still love today were invented. Shinramyun, bibimbap. They all gained traction then. And crucially, This is when ramen became inseparable from kimchi. That pairing just clicked, making it undeniably Korean.
The perfect combo. And now, it's everywhere. Things like the Buldak Spicy Noodle Challenge going viral globally.
Yeah.
It's amazing how far it's come.
From a post-war necessity to a global pop culture phenomenon, it really is.
So we've traced this incredible history. Now, putting on your food expert hat, how do you personally approach ramen? Do you have a purist philosophy? What's your go-to?
That's always a fun question. I do tend to lean towards letting the ramen itself shine. So often less is more, not too many crazy additions initially. I used to prefer the clear broths when I was younger, but I've really come to appreciate the depth you can get in spicy ones. Things like jjimpang or squid jjangpang, jin ramen. They have real complexity.
Okay.
But my surprising personal favorite, something a bit left field.
Lay it on us.
Spaghetti ramen.
Wait, what? Spaghetti ramen?
Yeah, it has this sort of Neapolitan spaghetti flavor. Tomatoey, a little sweet. It sounds weird, I know, but it's strangely delicious. A total curveball.
That is definitely unexpected.
Yeah.
Okay, so given you appreciate the nuances, even the spaghetti-flavored ones, any secrets for us regular folks at home? How do we level up our instant ramen game? Give us the insider tips.
Okay. Happy to share some hard-earned wisdom. A few things I always do. First, soup base goes in the water before the noodles.
Before is all.
Yeah, I feel like it dissolves better, makes the broth richer from the start. Second, use slightly less water than the package says, maybe 500 milliliters instead of 550 milliliters. Makes it saltier, more intense. I like that punchier flavor.
Less water. Got it.
What else? Cook the noodles so they're still chewy, kukadul, as they say in Korean. Never mushy. Gotta have that bite.
Right. Texture is key.
Totally. And finally, the egg trick. If you add an egg, drop it in exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds before you turn off the heat.
1 minute 30. That precise.
That precise. Gets you the perfect soft-boiled yolk. You break that into the broth. Oh, it adds this amazing creaminess. It's the best.
Wow. Those are some pro tips right there. Less water, soup first, chewy noodles, and the 90-second egg. I'm trying that next time.
Definitely worth experimenting.
What an incredible journey we've taken. Thinking about Momofuku Ando's original vision, born from seeing those cues in post-war Japan. And now look, instant ramen is like humanity's first truly global meal kit, would you say?
That's a great way to put it. It's everywhere, yet it takes on these specific cultural flavors, like the spiciness in Korea. It really holds so much history and innovation in just one simple packet.
It really does. Despite being instant, its story is all about human ingenuity, adapting to hardship, and that universal craving for comfort food, right?
Absolutely. It shows how a simple, brilliant idea can just grow and adapt across cultures, touching so many lives in different ways. It's quite profound, really, for a humble noodle.
It is. So next time you're making a bowl, maybe boiling that slightly less water, take a second. Think about the history packed in there. The trial and error, the journey from Osaka to orbit, the cultural twists, makes you wonder, what other everyday things around us have these kinds of epic, hidden stories just waiting for us to uncover? Keep looking. Keep being curious about the world right under our noses.